morning. This is Doc of Doc's Beehive, and this is our second session, and we're coming to you from North House. And I need to take this off. But if you remember, what we did is we had got from M-A-N-N, Lake, some really nice boxes, and they were all finger jointed. And the finger joints are very, very smooth, and very, very easy to put together. And we put glue on them, and we basically put them together like this. And the key is to get your little box nice and square. And there's two ways to square it up. You can square it up the old-fashioned way, or if you remember, we did is we had some little 2x4s that we clamped to the side, and it automatically made a 90-degree angle, so you can just pull the box into it, and you know you got a 90-degree box. So these are the two boxes that we made last time, and we're going to start off with those this time. And the only thing that I did late one night, I snuck down here with the drill, and I put a couple of screws in the side, as you can see here. So now these boxes are glued and screwed, so they're not going to go anywhere. So this morning we're going to start off. We've got to make two things for this today. We're going to make a bottom, and we're going to make a top.
And the bottom part is where the queen lives, right?
The queen. Remember, this is a brood box.
Brood box. The other's a super?
The super. You got a good memory.
And that's where the honey goes.
This is one of my sisters who I met at Master Gardeners. The other sister I actually had with me this morning, and I'm going to introduce you her a little bit later. Right now she's taking a nap, and sometimes she gets really, really loud, so I'm just going to let her kind of sleep a little bit. But anyway, this is a brood box where the queen lives, and when you get your brood box and you put it like this, there's no way for the bees to get in. So what you need to do is make them a little entrance. So the way to make the entrance, I'm going to show you two ways, and if I was you, I would take the easy way. Because if you're not a woodworker, you don't do things in the shop a lot, you may find this a little bit confusing, but not really. I mean, I think most men and a lot of women, believe me, can do this. I took two 2x4s, and I basically notched them out 3/4 of an inch by about 1.5 inches. So I made two little notches like this. And look, I can take this board, which I've already cut, and how did I know how big to make this board? This is easy. I have a scrap piece of plywood here. I just basically took the box, laid it on the top, put it into the corners, and took a pencil and drew around it. And then you want to add a little bit because you need something out here about 4 or 5 inches for them to have a landing pad on.
A front porch.
A front porch.
Okay.
All right, so what I did is had these two little things cut here. I cut my board, and I basically cut this board the exact same size as the beehive, and it goes together like that, which makes it real easy. And lay this on the top, and you can see there's a landing pad out here for them to get in here. But this board is still laying on top of the bottom board.
There's no hole.
There's no hole. So you don't have to make a hole. What you can do is, let me tell you the second way to make this, which is easier. If you not have a shop with a saw, you can just take two 2x4s. You don't have to notch them. Just lay them down flat. Lay them down flat. Measure the length of this box. Add 4 inches to it, and just put it right on the top and nail it. And automatically got 4 inches hanging off the side of it. And that way you don't have to do any of this fancy that, but it gives you automatically the base that you need. But we went ahead and notched ours.
Is that more stable when you notch it like that and it fits together?
To tell you the truth, I don't know if it's more stable or not. the more I see beehives, you can just put it on top of 2x4s and then put another 2x4 in the middle, and I would think that's real stable. It's a little heavy when you go to pick it up and move it around, but this makes it just a little bit easier for you. So we're going to take this, and then another way you have to get this fastened, so we'll just shoot this in. With some nails. And we got the bottom cooked together. But now we still have the same problem.
No way to get in. Yeah.
So what I do, what you may think about doing, is, you know, the old dog-eared fence boards that you see?
Yeah.
You can either get them new. I like to find the ones that have been laying out. They kind of turn silver or a different color. And we'll just take them and cut them. And these are about 3/4 of an inch thick and about 1.5 inches wide. So we'll just line them up on the sides like this. And we'll shoot them in. Yep. There we go. So I shoot in the sides first, then I need a piece to go across the back, because you don't want a hole on both ends. You only want the bees to be able to come in through one end. So this is a simple thing. So I'm just going to take them, put the little deal like this. I'm going to mark it base here. And I'm going to take a little girlfriend here.
And that nail came out in the middle there.
The nail came out in the middle, so I don't have my little tool. What I usually do is just kind of snip them off. So sometimes they hit a hard spot in here like a little knot, and they'll flip off. So now look, you got your brood box. And your brood box is going to line up like this, and that little bitty area, that 1/4 of an inch, is the doorway where they come in.
Awesome.
Now you can also take a little piece and you can put it across the bottom and leave this opening even smaller. And some people that like beehives like to have a very, very narrow little door, because it's easier for the bees to defend their beehive. Again, scrap piece of plywood, which I use. And we have to do this a little bit different. The top is going to fit on top of the super. Right? And so the top's got to have a lid. And if we cut the lid exactly the same size, that will work. We have to have some type of sides to it. And that way the lid won't slide off, right? So if you cut it the same side, what you can have to do is take a little strip of wood and nail it to the side. And when you nail it to the side, that way it won't slip off. But to me, that piece of wood gets kind of big and gets kind of thick. So what I like to do is I'll take my, and I'll line up, same thing. I'll line up and bring it right to the edge. Bring one to the back. And bring that to the edge. So now you're lined up. And then I'll put 2 on the side. And the reason why I put 2 on the side here and there is because when I cut this board, I want this board to fit, but also want to have a little bit wiggle room. And being a surgeon, I found out one of the downsides of that was I was making everything fit too tight. I was having to go back and either sand it off or grind it off. So now what I do is I just put 2 of these in. It automatically gives you a little extra room. And these are only 1/4 of an inch thick. So if you divide that on both sides, it'll come out to be about 1/8 of an inch. So you wouldn't have to listen to, I cut the board already. So
And I can keep my fingers.
keep your fingers. So here's going to be our top. So my thought was, if we make a hole, and have another hole, so you can just get a hole saw like this. Punch into the hole. When we build this, these holes will be in the attic. And in the eave that we'll be making next time, we'll put a hole.
Okay.
So there's automatically will be air coming up from the brood box, through the stupor, into the attic, and it'll come out through the holes on the side.
All right.
Look guys, the top is made.
So that goes on top of this.
That goes on the top of this. Let's see how it fits.
Ah, it comes
So
down
it fits
over.
right on.
Okay.
So remember we had a little space, so now we can slide, but it's not much. It's because once we put this roof on, the roof really becomes heavy, depending on what design you use. When we make the ones that look like the cathedral, they got this huge fixture on, and they're covered in metal, and they're covered in copper in the front. That's the one that we made to the Abbey. The lid itself may weigh 40 pounds.
Wow.
So it's really kind of heavy to do it that way.
And you have to take that off to get to the honey.
You have to take that off
Yeah.
to get to the good stuff on the inside.
Yeah. Okay.
So here we are. We had a good morning. Thank you so much.